Greetings YouTube, Black Ass here, another video presentation. It's the 4th of July today, man. I don't celebrate this holiday because I came to the realization that America never really gave a fuck about black people. We could go back to slavery and we could go back to the indoctrination of the American dream, and we could look at who built America. We were never promised a bag and a meal, reparations. We were never promised anything, especially when it comes to this whole political system and this ideology that capitalistic society has put on, the modern black person. Even back then, how many years did it take us to, start like voting and shit? How many marches did, we fucking start? How many times did we have to get killed by 12? How many times do black people still have to prove themselves, but yet we still get the bottom of the barrel? How many times do we get killed by police, inequality, injustice? The list goes on, man. So it's like, as a black person, I feel like, why the fuck would you celebrate Independence Day? I mean, to me, I would only celebrate it because, the U.S. Army and fucking, fighting against other countries to protect the U.S., that I could appreciate. But as far as like when this country was founded and just these 50 states in general, and just because we're in modern time, it's not like slavery doesn't exist. It's like, I just don't understand why people, especially black people, would celebrate the 4th of July. We were never a part of America's independence, and still to this day, slavery still does go on. It's just in many different types of forms and shit. You're a slave to the labor jobs that you are given, and to some people that are white, it may sound like I'm complaining, but it's like, when it comes to this whole patriarchal society, it's like, y'all never wanted us to even be in America. So it's kind of like, I feel like if you're white, I think it's kind of your own holiday to celebrate. Me, for example, I'm African American. I could say that without a shadow of a doubt. So to me, it's kind of like, what is really the point of celebrating this holiday if you're a nigga? You were never treated with any respect or equality or anything like that. And it's kind of like, why the fuck would you really care about this holiday? So people need to know their fucking history, man. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that racism is not going anywhere, unless the only way racism could die out is if white people, they really just started from the bottom and just went back to scratch and said, you know what, we're all the same. We're not better than anybody. We're all equal, Nobody's above anybody, But they're never gonna be like that because they get an advantage of the system, This system wasn't made for people like me. It wasn't made for people like, Will Smith. It wasn't made for people like Chris Rock. And these two examples are people who are famous. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if, You have your own private mansion in America. You still get taxed heavily because you're rich, and you still get called a nigga and a coon because, you know, the white man still pays you and you're still chasing the white man, you know. You're chasing the money, you know, which isn't a bad thing, but it's like the money in itself, that's a slave, that the American currency in itself is from slavery. Because you got to keep in mind the dollar is made from 25% cotton and 75% linen. Also, there was a slave owner on that piece of paper that we use currency with. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. And then you got coins which have those niggas and shit. And the treaty that the American, government at the time saying, oh, all men are created equal. And it's like, throughout history, it's clearly been proven we're not all created equal. Some of us are different than others. And that might go over a lot of people's heads, but some of us are not created equal. You know. And I just wanted to make this statement because, this is not degrading America. This is just stating the facts. If you're a black person in America, why the fuck would you celebrate the independence knowing that it took damn near a century just for us to even be considered as human beings, bro? All we wanted was to be treated like a human fucking being, bro. Like, I don't know about you, nigga, but is that really too much to fucking ask, bro? Just to be treated equal. Not saying we want more money or we want more credit or we want, a fucking celebration because we're black. All we wanted was to be treated equally. That's it. But America has not given us that. We could look at Black Wall Street. We could look at the police. We could look at the government, how the government has treated niggas. So it's kind of like, I already know all these things, and I know what to avoid, with the system and just this American fake ass dream that they always say. To me, it's a fucking nightmare. And niggas need to wake up, man. I think people have waken up, but there's still people like, Uncle Ruckus and Uncle Tom that, anything the white man does, he like eats it all up and appreciates them, That's why I could tell there are probably still a lot of niggas that still celebrate this holiday, And I don't blame y'all, man. I used to celebrate it too, but then, I had to realize that what America and the American way has done to only benefit whites. If you're white, of course you're gonna live a lavish, luxurious lifestyle compared to the Negro person. Unless you're a poor white person. If you're poor, you're basically like most niggas, but like, you're rich, I don't really technically consider you as a human being because you don't know what struggle is. So that's why with white people, I don't really bother them, or I just really I've just been observing these motherfuckers for like 20 plus years. And, I basically know all the fucking move sets and all that shit. All the racism tactics and all that shit. You know, that's why when they've basically forced this holiday onto everybody, especially minorities, it's kind of like we're forced to like it. But, it's people like me that are the odd one out that are judged just because they don't celebrate it. And I'll say this, it's not my holiday to celebrate. But I'm going to go back to work, man. I've been making a lot of money today just because it's 4th of July. So I'm going to just, I don't know, probably give me something to eat later. But I'm out, man. And mind you, this is just my opinion. I can really care less what you can and cannot do with it. Uh, Especially since people really don't care about what black people have to say or just what a black man has to say in general. I find it real convoluting and hysterical that what I have to say, people don't care, but they always listen to. You know what I'm saying? It's like putting your hand in a blender, or it's like putting your finger in hot water, knowing it's hot, but you do it anyways. So that's what I feel like giving my opinion is about, especially this type of topic. But I'm out, y'all. Choose to do whatever pleases you, I guess.